Greetings, mathletes. Unfortunately, had a little back issue this weekend, and I'm bedridden today. So we're going to talk about adding and subtracting scientific notation. And I am going to need you to be very diligent about taking notes on this today. Okay? The key to this is to be able to go back and forth between standard notation and scientific notation. Okay? If we can do that, we're going to be in great shape with adding and subtracting, because essentially we just move everything to standard notation. Once it's in standard notation, we add or subtract it, and then move it back to scientific notation. Okay? First example that I want to talk about is, let's go 7.4 times 10 to the second, and we'll add 2.735 times 10 to the sixth. Okay? Now, what we know from scientific notation, turning it into standard notation, this first one, I move the decimal over twice, and it becomes 740. This one, I move it over 3 times to cover those, and then 3 more times, because my exponent is 6. And I end up with 2,735,000. Okay? Now, our job is to add those two. So I take 2,735,000 and I add 740. And I get 2,735,740. Okay? Now, this is not a number we would normally put into scientific notation, but these are the types of numbers that they're going to give us, so we're going to have to deal with it. Now we just have to use our rules. Okay? The rules are, remember, decimal after the first non-zero digit. So we put our decimal point down there. And then we write out the remaining digits that are left. So I have 7, 3, 5, 7, 4, until there's only zeros remaining. In this case, there's only 1, so it's kind of a pain, but we're going to go with it. And then times 10 to what power? Well, we put our decimal in that spot, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots to the end, so times 10 to the sixth. Okay? So I want to do a couple more examples like that, just so that you understand, and I'll also do some with negative exponents as well, because they're a little tricky. Remember, with decimals, we have to line up the decimal in order to add or subtract. Okay? So, let's do another example. Add another slide in here. Let's go 2.005 times 10 to the sixth minus We'll do subtraction this time. 4.3 times 10 to the 5th. Again, like the last time, the first step is let's change it in the standard notation. So I will have to move this decimal 6 spots to the right for the first one. Okay, so this one here becomes 2, 0, 0, 5. That's 3 spots. And then I have to do 3 more spots to make it 6, and those become zeros. Okay? So I get 2,005,000 minus this next one. I have to move the decimal 5 spots to the right, so there's 1. I have 4 more left, and there will be zeros. So I have 4 zeros for 430,000. Okay? Now, I need to subtract 2,005,000 minus 430,000. Okay? Just simple subtraction. We get 1,575,000. Okay? Now, we need to put our answer back in scientific notation. So again, this is just converting things to standard notation, subtracting them, and then putting them back into standard notation. So, put the decimal after the first non-zero digit, write out all the digits that are remaining till I only have zeros left, and then times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 10 to the 6th. Okay, so there's a subtraction example. Now, I would like for you to try 2 on your own. The first one I would like for you to try is 2 times 10 to the 5th plus, let's make that a nicer plus there for you, plus 1.9 times 10 to the 7th. Okay? So pause the video, try that one on your own, and then restart the video to watch me go over it. Okay, so I have to turn 2 times 10 to the 5th into standard notation. So I'm going to be moving that decimal 5 spots to the right. So in this case, I'll just be adding 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I end up with 200,000. Plus, the second part here, I'll be moving the decimal 7 spots to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 1, 9, and 6 zeros for 19 million. Okay? And then I just simply add the two numbers. So I have 19 million plus 200,000, and I get 19,200,000. Now I need to put that back into scientific notation. So I have 1.92, writing all the digits till I only have zeros remaining, and then count from that spot where I put the decimal point all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So times 10 to the 7th. Okay? Now I would like for you to try a subtraction one on your own. And this problem, let's see, let's go with 7.6 times 10 to the 5th minus 4.9 times 10 to the 3rd. Okay? So pause the video, try that one on your own, start the video to see how well you did. Okay, same thing. Need to put these in the standard notation. So 7.6 times 10 to the 5th. I have to move this decimal over 5 times. And I get 760,000. 4.9 times 10 to the 3rd. Oops. Doing subtraction. Minus 4,900. So, I take 760,000. I subtract 4,900. And I get 755,100. Now I need to put that back in scientific notation. Okay? The decimal goes after the first non-zero digit. I write down all the digits that are remaining till I only have zeros left. Multiply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 10 to the 5th. Okay? Now, how does this work with negative exponents? Well, very similar. As long as you can put it back into standard form, then add or subtract the numbers, put it back into scientific notation, you're in good shape. Let's do an example like that. So let's go 2.37 times 10 to the negative 6th plus 1.5 times 10 to the negative 4th. Not a very good 4. There we go. Okay? So we'll take the first one again, put it in the scientific notation, or standard notation, sorry, by moving it backwards this time 6 spots. Okay? So I have my decimal point, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. And then 2, 3, 7. Plus, the second example here, I have to move this decimal point 4 to the left. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 zeros before the 1, 5. And there we go. Now, the critical part that we have to remember with these small ones is that when we add or subtract decimals, we have to line up the decimals. So when I'm adding these two, I have to be very careful to make sure that I line up the decimals. Because that's how we add or subtract. Okay? So we can fill in these with zeros, and we just add 7, 3, 2, 5, 1, 0, 0, 0, and then put it into scientific notation. Decimal goes after the first non-zero digit. And I count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's -4. Okay? I'm going to give you one more example. I'm going to do a subtraction one. And then I'll turn you loose doing some problems. Third. Now let's go -4th. We want a -1 here. 6 times 10 to the -4th minus 2.5 times 10 to the -6th. And we're going to subtract those. So again, I put these each in standard notation. So I'm going to have to move this decimal to the left 4 spots, and I end up with 0.0006, and I'm going to subtract. I move this one 6 spots to the left, and I have 2 decimals there. Okay? Again, be careful. You guys have the option of using your calculator here. I'm just going to subtract them. So when you line them up, I have to line up the decimals. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. And then 2, 5, and I fill in up here with zeros. So I do a lot of borrowing here. This becomes 5, 7, 9, 5, and there we go. Okay, my next step, put this back into scientific notation. Okay, so my decimal has to go there after the first non-zero digit. So I have 5.975 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. Okay? And there we go. So, your task for today is, I'll have problems for you to work on my Canvas page right underneath this video. Then after that, you are to go to the Math Pro app and work on the section that I have listed on my Canvas page. So please stay busy today, okay? And do what you're supposed to do, and hopefully I will be back tomorrow. Good luck.